What up, IGTV peeps? We are talking shoulder flow here, or otherwise how I do my upper body flossing before typically like a push-pull day or any overhead pressing stuff I'm going to do. Now we've done other videos on our YouTube and here as well on how to open up the shoulders and the pecs and basically the upper back or the entire shoulder girdle, if you will. But I'm going to walk you through like a normal flow that I do for maybe 2-3 minutes just to get loose. It's all based off of feel, so we kind of call it a flow or shoulder flossing, if you will. So I grabbed a set of TRX. If you guys have a band, anything similar, you can probably do this. I do think TRX looks great just because you can kind of move independently. So when I start, all I do is I walk the hands away from each other, kind of like I would do almost like an overhead tricep extension. And I walk until it pulls just slightly, and then from here it's almost like those snow angels where you just kind of let it stretch, especially depending on what's tight for you guys. You might hear a little snap, crackle, pop as you move through. Totally normal for a lot of us, especially after the age of probably 20. We have a little bit of cracking going on. Then a lot of times I let the chest stretch slightly, and I'll actually lean forward because it just feels good for me just to let it kind of deep stretch and rotate. I do like the TRX because I can rotate my palms. I kind of go between that pronated and supinated grip on the backside. And I do feel it just lets things kind of move through space. I can slightly lean forward, I can push back through the heels, I can actually rotate the hands behind the back, almost like you would do a pulling variation from the backside. Then from there I'll bring the hands back up, and I like to rotate just one over and across the body and also lean into a little bit, get a little bit of a lat stretch in there. Just kind of rotate at the upper back. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just simply let it rotate across. And again, you can lean into it and leverage your body weight based on how you guys feel. You can go alternating, or a lot of times I'll rotate the same arm. So I'll bring it all the way across to the left shoulder. I'll bring the hand all the way behind. And whatever feels good to you guys, spend the time there as you need to. Or in all reality, whatever side is tighter or where you can have any like hot or trouble spots, I would spend more of the time there just to let things kind of get loose as you rotate through it. The other one I do like a lot is how we would do overhead TRX tricep extensions, or how you would do skull crushers with dumbbells. Walk the feet back, you guys let your body just lean forward. You can let it stretch. Again, another great reason I like the TRX for this is my palms, I can rotate them. And I do feel I get a deeper stretch once I rotate those palms in towards me. And I'm just sitting here, kind of letting everything dig down into the triceps, honestly into the lats. If I lean my body weight into it, I can kind of rotate and floss that right side just to feel what's loose and what's tight. And I can do the same thing on the other side, so I can move them independently, which again, even for most of you, this is a pretty deep stretch for the triceps. And if I take the grips and I flip them, they're one of my favorites. If we're talking upper back or lats, you can do this at home, probably honestly in your bathroom or like your kitchen countertops if they're secure enough to the wall. But all we're gonna do is just drop the head, let it sink in, really stretch. And again, the nice thing about these is I can rotate. So I can rotate the body, I'm shifting the hips and I'm dropping. And for me personally, it's pulling basically all the way down into my ass, all the way up through the lat, through your armpit, all the way through the attachments here. Now you do the same thing on the other side. You rotate through, you get a nice deep stretch there. If you want to go single hand, which for me is one of my favorites, now I can rotate the hand and find what's tight, what's bothering me. I can drop down into the stance, let it really dig in deep. We do the same thing on the other side. Rotate through, really just spending the time where I need to. And then basically anytime I'm gonna do any upper body, overhead pressing stuff, I'll throw in just like a handful of, whether it's like a T, I, or Y variations, or the face pulls. So meaning, I might be a little bit more upright than normal, and all I'm gonna do is just open up, little squeeze the shoulder blades, and again, it's just slow and controlled. It's not super taxing. And that would be, I guess, what you call like that T pattern. Then we can go into a Y variation, super basic, super simple, and then the I pattern will be the full overhead. And then I oftentimes like to throw in just a handful of face pulls. Give it a little squeeze, whether I go with that pronated grip or if I go neutral, let the elbows flare and just play with it a little bit. Now again, all real simple stuff. There's a million things we could show you, but that's something that takes 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes tops. Get the shoulders, traps, upper back, T-spine, everything kind of open up and prime for movement. So throw that in next time you guys are gonna go crazy on bench day, or anytime you're rowing or overhead pressing, and see how it feels.